All right, River and I are out on a long run, Sunday morning run, and we've got a strong north wind that's behind me right now. It's blowing everything, and we're running through an unfinished subdivision, and we saw the sidewalk. It just goes, maybe it goes all the way over there. But the key to enjoying long workouts is to make them fun, and also mix in some exploring if you can, if it pops up. And it just changes everything. It makes the long miles easier. Who would like to buy a home with a scary space clown living in the basement? All right, welcome to some sweaty camp, and with the bezel, there we go, I can see that it's almost 40 minutes. So that's elapsed time, no matter how much he stops to check out the Aggie flags and whatever else is going on. I know, because I want to fuel on every 10 minutes, no matter what's going on, no matter how much he stops. Or if I have to stop to tie my shoes or whatever. You're still burning calories and needing hydration in the heat, even if you're stopped. Your body doesn't quit functioning. So have a universal timer going on. It's pretty cool. Hey, look, a kitty. Leave him alone. It's his house. Come on, let's go. Let's go. Good boy. Let's go. Don't mess with orange cats. They're crazy. All right, this 7-mile loop River and I just did so good. I'm gonna go do it again. I cut a little bit off, so we end up doing about 13.1, hopefully a half marathon. And any part that's hot with the wind, because it's starting to warm up, I'm dribbling water over my head, and it brings the temperature down really nice. Let's see how we do. Oh, and this is working out so good because it's not just River stopping to sniff stuff. I also stopped to take pictures when I dropped them off at the house. That was a couple of minutes. But you're burning calories and you're shedding hydration through sweat the entire time. So yeah, I'm right on track. It hit 50 minutes right there, so another sip of water and a little sip of fuel. And I'm using Scratch. I added food color so I can see how much I got left. This is a really good example of hot and with the wind. You take your water, just open the top and dribble it on top of your head, on the back of the top of your head, like the crown of your head. Tilt your head forward and let it run down over your head. And it cools you down really, really nice. Because one of your major limiters is body temperature. Okay, these are flood retention ponds right here. And they have these high berms that are almost runnable. Definitely on the almost. So I'm having to pick up my feet really high. This is hard work. Back again. All right, real quick. I saw an article this morning. People trying to say that Lucy Charles and Taylor Knibb were too skinny, because if you compare them to the girl that won, Kona, they were skinny, and they were looking maybe a little bit skinnier than they usually do. And it's really interesting because Ironman is so like, it's like the UFC fighting of endurance sports. You don't want to be too skinny because then you're too frail. Your body can't take the abuse and doesn't have, well, this got sweaty, didn't it? Doesn't have the caloric reserves and minerals and vitamins and fat, you know, to handle the abuse it's going to take. Let this down. And I've gotten too skinny. My best weight is around like 184 probably pounds, and I'm a 6'3" guy. And I got down to, oh shoot, I forgot to start my watch again. I got down to 175 or 172 one time, and did an Ironman, and yeah, I could feel it. I was not durable, but it's hard to tell. Lucy is already a string bean, and she's actually already really scrawny, skinny. And then the other woman I don't know that much about, but is a thing for sure. But then somebody posted, you know, quit objectifying women and telling them how to look. It's like, lady, it happens to guys too. And happened to me. Somebody posted, yeah, it happens to lots and lots of guys. And Chris McCormick, who's been a guest on my show, who won Ironman championships a few years back, he put on weight and quit trying to be so scrawny, and actually won that year. So, one, sweaty cam. Hold on. It is a real thing. Two, it's not people objectifying women on how they should look. It's an actual sports thing that happens to guys and girls. Okay. But unfortunately, there is a catch-22. If it's a really hilly race, then lighter weight does help you significantly. And then also, if it's a hot race, being skinnier helps you shed heat a lot better. I've experienced it tremendously. You don't have as thick of a natural like wetsuit over your body, keeping the heat in, a layer of fat. And you can see it in open water swimmers that do long distances in colder water. They try to put on as much weight as they can because the extra weight of fat acts as an insulator and keeps that heat in. So you don't really know how low is too low until you a lot of times go too low. Let's get some water. This is starting to hurt. I want to get that half marathon, that 13.1. See if we can get it done. All right, about to hit 13.1 half marathon. Nice little goal. Had to power walk it up this last little hill. I biked 4 hours yesterday and got a little overheated. It was a lot hotter yesterday. So I'm fighting a little bit of dehydration and of course sore legs. It was 60 miles. 60 miles. And to turn around and I did it. 13.11. I'm gonna go to this median over here. I'll stop the watch. And we'll walk the rest of the way in. Stretch the legs out. So I did the first half with River. And that was really great temps. Got a little hot at times. So I had to do that cooling over the head method. And then the second lap, I think the wind's picked up, but it's more sunny. So it was about the same. But my hydration started running thin, and I used 300 calories of scratch plus probably before I started, I ate about 5 gummy bears. They come in these little tiny packets. I'm not sure how many are in there. And, about 5 minutes before you start. And that gives you some energy to get going. And then when I dropped River off, at 7 miles, I had another little pack of gummy bears while I was reloading up on water. Let's go through this little cut through right here. And I was thinking about the whole judging women on how they look in sports and all that stuff. Is if you're involved in a social media circle where you're hearing that the women should have been different or look better or and whatever, you need to stop following those people. High-end endurance sports has been covering that topic, and it applies to both men and women for years. And if you got people that are in there that are unaware of that, then they are not the type of people you need to be following and getting input from or influence from. Every top coach, every top athlete knows that there's too skinny, too fat, and it applies to both men and women, and both are susceptible to it. There's slight differences in how much maybe for men versus women, but otherwise you can't get upset over the peanut gallery. And we've been talking about this for a long time about too skinny. Recently it's been about men in pro cycling, about eating more calories, getting bigger, heavier, and actually performing better. The past few years, it's really helped out guys a lot to hear, because their body image is you know, not who's the most attractive, but like the angle with them is the skinnier you are, the more likely you are to win in bike battle, you know, and running battle and stuff. So anyway, 13 miles, well, 13.1, but who's counting? This guy. And this really worked out nice. I forgot to restart my watch at one point, because you could just say, oh, well, you know, you got a field on your watch that says elapsed time. Well, what if you turn off your watch? Or what if, and then turn it back on, it loses that. And then, instead of like auto pause, you know. And then what if your watch dies? And you need to know, like on the 10 minutes or however you do your fueling and hydration. So it's more of a backup, but it is fun to play with too. And yeah, so I'm gonna have a recovery drink and some food, play with the dogs a little bit, and then start getting stuff together for our bike packing adventure next weekend. It is happening. And it looks like there's going to be a little bit of rain beforehand, which I hope all it does is settle down the dust some. But I hope it does not so much that it raises the river and creek levels, so it makes it difficult to cross streams where you get swept off or it's just impassable. But I can imagine if we're trying to cross and we're going to get swept off our bikes, throw the bikes in the back of that. That's got some really good ground clearance. It's factory off-road, which already is, you know, off-road tires and stuff, and then the off-road package gives it another 2 inches of lift to get it up. So we'll see.